e tabua e o si sambe mo rekan roka adoro mo tabua ando tele taka na waronga na pula FM namba 2 na sir
bola na go ilimo do tele taka na FM na go sa sector to na pula FM
bola o tsempo ni valu ngone ni kandabu me mo kisa o ba chiku na sinu ando tele taka bali na waronga na pula FM na bantu na sir
o lorima na ga gi suka lambasa to do tele taka na bola FM number 2 na sir
Bola FM number 2 na sir.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. In this bulletin, methamphetamine intercepted at Super Post Shop. 6 government ministries and departments identified to be lagging behind in implementing capital projects. And Prime Minister Lwanga Park dismisses notion of revival of Great Council of Chiefs. A parcel containing methamphetamine has been intercepted by customs officials. The illicit drug was concealed in a shampoo bottle sent from the United States and addressed to a local woman. The suspect fled when questioned by customs officers upon collecting the parcel from the Suva post office. She was later identified through her tax identification number. The Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority's intelligence team was informed of the drug shipment earlier this month. Acting Fbctv CEO Viswanath says the drug seizure should be a warning to all unscrupulous traders wanting to bring in illegal drugs, that Fbctv officers and police are vigilant in their work to ensure borders are safe. Police are investigating. Police are investigating a possible murder in Samambula this morning. It's believed the man in his late 50s died as a result of a fight. Police say the man was drinking with another man believed to be in his late 30s when an argument broke out. A post-mortem will be conducted to ascertain the cause of death. Director CID SSP Kishore Kumar says this tragic incident has sparked a warning on the consequences of overindulging in alcohol this festive season. Kumar is stressing the importance of drinking responsibly while attending parties or social gatherings so as to avoid such tragic incidents. 6 government ministries and departments have been identified as having the most delays in capital works. The Ministries of Education, Health and Infrastructure have been named along with the police, the judiciary and the Fiji military.
All ministries with capital works in 2016 went through a workshop today to identify ways of speeding up their projects. Minister for National Planning Aya Syed Qayyum says in most instances, tree planning such as design and land acquisition is done late and this delays actual work on the ground.
Last week, for example, on my desk, I had files this high where everybody's asking for waivers of tenders. Or saying we need to waive the tender because this is a very important piece of construction that needs to take place. But in fact the allocation was made in the beginning of the year. Nothing was done and suddenly by November it's become very urgent. If it was urgent, it should have in fact been planned for in the previous year.
Syed Qayyum says a culture has grown within government that planning takes up most of the year and ministries and departments rush for special favors in the last quarter. When allocated funds aren't used up and have to be rebudgeted in the following year, the government deficit increases, putting more pressure on taxpayers' funds.
This is not to say we don't want to give you the money. We want to give you the money. We want the actual capital projects to take place. But the point is we all need to be realistic about whether it can be done in that year or not.
The workshop is designed to identify best practices in implementing and completing projects. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
Edwin Nand joins us live now with more on this issue. Edwin, is this issue of delays in capital works an issue across the whole of government?
Jackie, the minister did point out 6 government ministries and departments which he says are notorious for delays in capital works. We have to bear in mind, though, that these are some very critical government services: new schools by the Education Ministry, the Health Ministry building new health centres, new police stations and even roads. What the minister was trying to the whole point that he was trying to make in his address was that ministries need to work smarter. They need to plan ahead and ensure that capital works get off the ground in a timely manner and are completed within budget. At the end of the day, it will mean better services for Fijians and cost savings for the government. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that update, Edwin. Prime Minister Lwanga Park has dismissed any notion that the Great Council of Chiefs could be revived. His statement comes after the leader of opposition, Rotemu Mukepa, highlighted that the majority of Fijians would like to see the GCC re-established. Maggie Boyle reports.
The Great Council of Chiefs, or GCC, was dissolved in 2007, a fallout of the 2006 coup. Once an advisory board to government, the GCC was consequently omitted in the 2013 constitution. 8 years later, and the leader of opposition, Rotemu Mukepa, says the GCC or something similar should be set up.
The wishes of the majority of indigenous Fijians that there be a body set up as we have had previously, and that is the Great Council of Chiefs. So that is the wish of many indigenous people, that there be somebody set up to look at the many issues that are now coming before us.
However, Prime Minister Lwanga Park says the notion is unwarranted.
There's no GCC, and I don't think she understands anything about COP21. She just wants to make herself relevant, look relevant in these days when they're having problem in the SDL office. Thank you.
Rotemu Mukepa is adamant, though, that there is a framework in place to work towards a GCC, starting with Mbosini Vanua, which could be mobilized and reformed. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Prime Minister Lwanga Park is using every available opportunity he has in public to condemn domestic violence and sexual assault. Speaking at 2 events in Suva today, Park says these acts must be shamed.
Labeling it as very serious problems, Prime Minister Lwanga Park says domestic violence and sexual assault calls for a national conversation.
We need to take a close look at ourselves and ask if we can respect ourselves as a people and a culture if we allow this scourge to continue. In Fiji, we must protect our most vulnerable groups. We cannot allow the women, children, elderly and infirm of this country to be abused or exploited.
Park says while we have laws in place to deal with those who commit such offences, many cases go unreported.
This is a crime that thrives on intimidation and secrecy, and the law alone is not always far-reaching enough to eradicate it. So I am speaking out because domestic violence must be shamed. That is how we will eradicate it.
Speaking in Cornivia this afternoon, the Prime Minister says when we tolerate such actions, we are condoning them, but there is never an excuse to permit domestic violence or sexual assault.
But laws alone, even strictly enforced, are not enough to stop it. It is not just about shaming the man who beats his wife and children, or to shun the rapist and make him reluctant to show his face in public. But we must shame or shun the person who even thinks about doing it in the first place.
Park says domestic violence has been going on for many years and has become the ugly underbelly of Fijian culture. And in no certain terms, the Prime Minister says we can no longer accept this. Eleanor Turangaiwiu, FBC News.
Education Ministry clarifies pass rate in Year 13 exams. That and more after the break.
Hi, my name is Edred and I'm from Nandi and I love Mirchi FM.
Hi, my name is Sonny from Canberra. I love listening Mirchi FM online.
मैं हूँ उर्मिला देवी आसियासी तावा से जितेन शांडिल को और अश्निल को तावा में लॉक कर दिया जाए.
हम लोग यहाँ से कमें
Mirchi FM Suntai, Mirchi FM is hot.
I'm Shelly in Tanga Nursery. Mirchi music simply bindas in nursery.
Meshfaq, valuable sing. Mirchi FM, mere nas me.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The Education Ministry has clarified there isn't a 100% pass rate for Year 13 students. Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says his comments were misconstrued when he said none of the students had failed. Ellen Stalls has more.
No student who have undertaken Year 13 examination have failed.
This is the Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy yesterday saying no one has failed. But now he says this was never meant to indicate that there was a 100% pass rate.
I said none of these students have failed.
Okay, so in translation, all have passed.
No.
Dr. Reddy says the results show that all students have attained a certain degree of knowledge in spite of their total mark.
This is not failures we're talking about, because every student who have completed Year 13 can enter university or technical college, number one. Okay. And second, every child who have completed Year 13 is eligible to be funded by TELS.
The minister also backs his statement that there haven't been any failures per se, because he doesn't want to demoralize students who have low marks. The news has confused people like Snell Lata, whose son Krishnil Chand managed to have 175 out of 400 marks.
This news is confusing. If the minister is right, he's saying 100% pass, that means all students should pass.
Dr. Reddy says any student who wishes to have their marks recounted are welcome to do so. He stresses that despite any result, all Year 13 students can still enter university or technical colleges. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
And in a statement this afternoon, the National Federation Party leader, Professor Biman Prasad, has expressed his disappointment and called on the Education Ministry to clarify the meaning of attainment and its relevance to the pass or failure of students. A milestone in child protection policy was achieved today with the signing of the Interagency Guidelines on Child Abuse and Neglect. The guidelines collaboration includes several ministries whose hope is that from these protocols, effective prevention strategies will be implemented in the long term to stop child abuse. Maggie Boyle reports.
It's been 16 years since the first guidelines on child protection were drawn up. The interagency guidelines effectively outline what processes need to be followed when dealing with cases of child abuse.
Aim to provide an understanding of one, organizations' roles and responsibilities when engaging with a case of suspected child abuse and neglect, individuals' responsibilities when engaging with a case of suspected child abuse. Organizations' role as well as individuals' role, yes. And how organizations are required and expected to interact with engaged in a suspected case of child abuse and neglect.
With the Ministries of Education, Health, Employment and Women involved, police's role is to ensure that all legal avenues are being pursued and the law enforced. Acting Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveni Ngiliho says this is a clear step in the right direction of addressing serious sexual crime against children.
The signing of the Interagency Guidelines on Child Abuse and Neglect clearly signifies Fiji's commitment towards the protection of our children, who will be our leaders tomorrow. Ultimately, our partnership can help shape our children's future and their rights to feel safe within our communities.
Quoting the late African President Nelson Mandela, Ngiliho adds that there can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
More than 73 Fijian students are currently studying in China and all are doing well. Fiji's ambassador to China, Yowane Naivalarua, today visited USP's Confucius Institution and met with graduating students from China. Akosita Tale has more.
Fiji's ambassador to China has commended the establishment of a Confucius Institute in the country to assist students prepare for studies in China.
And one of the key areas is really the
pre-deployment or the orientation, so that they come in ready, and that's a burden to us back on the other side, and more so to them.
Naivalurua has recommended that students undergo proper training to learn and understand China and its people so their studies are not hindered. He adds the institute should also assist students when they return home after graduating from their respective universities.
When they do finish, after qualifying or graduating at high standards, they look forward to the next step is really finding a job. And that's really where the issues are, and it's now becoming a most stressful point for most of them.
Recent graduates from China says the experiences learnt and gained overseas has been very challenging, especially in terms of language.
Going to China and with no background of Chinese language, apart from the Ni Hao and the Xixie.
It was still okay for me when I went to Guangzhou because half of the people in Guangzhou speak Cantonese. But it was a bit hard in the hospital because everyone speaks Mandarin. So yeah, it was a challenge, but it was good.
10 months is not enough to learn the language, and you might need 2 or 3 years. But apart from that, it was great. It was a very good experience.
Naivalurua has recommended that the institute be a point for all graduating students from China to network and keep the knowledge of what has been acquired in China. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
For the first time ever, the Ministry of Health has launched a polio vaccine to immunize children and ultimately stop its transmission. Health Minister Chone Usumate launched the vaccine in Valilevu today. Ali Kimbia has the details.
Polio generally affects children under the age of 3, but the new inactivated polio vaccine will prevent infection by immunizing every child.
Implementation of the polio endgame is the only way to ensure that the children of Fiji will live in a world free of paralysis due to polio viruses. The complete eradication of all polio viruses will be one of the most remembered public health accomplishments of our generation.
The vaccine is being bought in through the assistance of the World Health Organization. The Health Ministry is now urging parents to bring their children for immunization so that they can be fully protected against polio.
You know, we can only do our part. Major responsibility of this program falls on parents, and not only mothers. I think fathers should take more responsibility or play a more active role in bringing the young children to the health centers for immunization.
In Fiji, the last clinically confirmed polio case was recorded in 1962, while the last laboratory confirmed case occurred in 1958 in an outbreak of 21 polio cases in Suva. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Sports now. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Jackie, and good evening. In sports tonight, refurbished Victoria Courts reopened today, and Opeti Tangi has arrived in Lambasa for the Northern Rumble and is ready to get down to business. This and more coming up.
Bula, I'm Dori from Nasinu Market. My choice is simple, Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
My name is Yvonne. I'm from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Sayandra, my name is Sunny. Only the Gold FM at Golden Point Resort, Raki Raki.
Hi, I'm Anna of Nasinu. When it comes to a radio, my choice is always Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
My name is Anna and I'm from Nandi. I love listening to Gold FM. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
It's been 12 years since Victoria Tennis Court in Suva received an upgrade, and today a grand reception was held to officially reopen the facility, which is being held as the cornerstone venue for tennis in the capital city. Talen Daudakadaka reports.
Naga, God bless everyone.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports and Fiji Sports Council today unveiled the result of its partnership, the upgraded Victoria Tennis Court, which was last upgraded for the 2003 South Pacific Games.
So it brings me great joy to see that 12 years later we are able to present you all with a completely renovated and up-to-date facility as part of my government's initiative to create modern infrastructure throughout the country and that serves the needs of the people.
The upgrades cost $238,000 for the 5 tennis courts, 2 squash courts, the washrooms, as well as the administration office.
Any upgrade is a really good thing for everybody, especially those who play competitive sports, because it reduces injury levels and it reduces the amount of time that you spend in actually competing and training for, in this case, squash or tennis.
The facility was previously open to other sports apart from tennis, but that could be put on hold.
The reason why we allow other sports to come on is to allow for other sport, for the futsal and the netball players to come and have a place to play as well. In return, they pay, of course, the fees for that. For $4, you hire a court for $4 for tennis. So what we heard today from the tennis fraternity was, listen, if you have to increase the rate, increase it. We'd rather have it specifically for tennis at a higher rate.
The 5 tennis courts and 2 squash courts will be open for games from tomorrow. Silent Odakadaka, FBC Sports.
Vodafone Fiji Sevens management has reminded its team that they're not in the World Sevens Series as defending champions, but as contenders. Currently on a short break, work has already been set out for the players for as soon as they march back into camp for the upcoming Wellington Sevens. Josephine Avula has more.
One of the try scorers for Fiji.
Weaknesses have been identified and it will be back to business when the players return to camp after a 1-week break.
Before we do something, we always have planning already done. So it's all there. They'll be doing trainings in the 3 high-performance units, so it's Suva, Singatoka and Nandi.
The team management is requesting the families of the players to show their support in every way possible.
We've emphasized while coming back is that, control what you're going to eat, control what you're going to drink, but at the same token, the onus is on the players. We've emphasized that it's 8 months before the Olympics, and it's 8 months of sacrifice.
Ropate Kawesi adds they have set a target for the remaining 8 legs of the series next year.
We're not here to defend the cup. We are here as contenders, because the series ended last year. We've returned the cup, so now we're fighting for the cup again. So just like all the other teams, which is now stronger, it's the Olympic year, so every team's a contender.
Quarter-final.
Fiji is pooled with Argentina, Wales and Japan in the Wellington Sevens, which will be played on the 30th and 31st of January. Josephine Avula, FBC Sports.
Opeti Tangi is ready to showcase to the people of Lambasa what he's made of when he takes on Joseph Quadjo in the main bout of the Westwood Northern Rumble this Saturday. Hype is building up for the boxing promotion, with the sport returning to the north after more than a decade. Rohit Deo reports.
I'm representing Fiji on Saturday.
Opeti Tangi has arrived in Lambasa and is ready for battle.
Now I'm in Lambasa, I'm in business now, and I'm here for business.
He's gaining confidence.
Tangi already has fought 2 fights in the Northern Division, but says he's excited to be there once again.
Is he back in this?
Yeah, before I have one amateur fight here and one professional fight back in 99 and another one fight in 2002. So it's been a long time now. So I came back here, very excited. Came back to Lambasa again.
Oh, that's a good left.
The promoters are also looking forward to Saturday and are calling on fans to come out in numbers to support their boxers.
Great pictures from the cameraman.
To all the boxing fans in the north, I would like to say that this is the time. Show up, support your best fighter, support your favorite boxer.
The weigh-in for all the 6 bouts takes place in Lambasa town at 2 p.m. tomorrow. The fights begin at 1 p.m. on Saturday at Subrel Park in Lambasa. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The upgrade of Lwanga Park in Singatoka is in its final stage and is expected to open soon. $3 million was allocated from this year's national budget to upgrade the venue. Josephine Avula with the details.
Home to some of the biggest rugby stars in the country, the rugby town of Singatoka will be boasting the newly upgraded Lwanga Park in hosting big tournaments. The ground was closed down last year and was only open to host a few Fairbrother Challenge matches.
Lwanga Park is actually scheduled to be open in January, and we're very pleased with how the contractors are coming along with that.
The upgraded sporting venue will feature a whole new lot of facilities.
The roof's been done, the multipurpose court's been done. The ground maintenance work is still, minimal work is still ongoing in that area. But now it's just the remedial works. It's the remedial works that's taking up quite a lot of the time.
If all goes to plan, rugby fans can witness the 2016 Fiji Bailey's Coral Coast Sevens here at Lwanga Park from the 14th to 16th of January. Josephine Vula, FBC Sports.
That was sports news for tonight. Good evening.
Government's commitment to building a robust rice industry has received a major boost after the Chinese government donated rice technical machines worth $5 million. Receiving the machines today is Prime Minister Lwanga Park. Ali Kimbia has more.
Receiving the rice machines from the Chinese government, Prime Minister Lwanga Park says this is the rebirth of our rice industry and the impact of the new technology will extend far beyond the farms of Ndraketi and Cornivia.
Government's commitment to building a robust rice industry does not begin or end with this handover. We will continue to research new rice varieties and rice cultivation techniques because we recognize the importance of the rice industry holds for our economy.
Bainimarama says the machines will help bring Fiji's rice industry closer to self-sufficiency.
We need to join the rest of the world in mechanizing our rice farming. Modern rice farming is less labor intensive and much more efficient than traditional rice farming. Our farmers will have high profits encourage more investment.
Acting Permanent Secretary for Agriculture, Urea Waimbuta, says thorough training will be conducted to farmers on ways to utilize the machines.
Currently, a 15-day training course will be carried out in China, in which 10 of our people had been identified to undertake that particular program.
Government says it will make sure to get the greatest possible benefit from the new machines. The Chinese government will be providing experts who will teach the proper use and maintenance of the machines to our farmers. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Fine weather was experienced over most places today. A weak trough of low pressure lies slow moving just to the west of Fiji. Meanwhile, a broad easterly wind flow prevails over most southwest Pacific Island countries. All centres recorded temperatures in the 30s. Suva's the highest with 33 degrees and Sava the lowest with 30. Brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers elsewhere. That's for tomorrow. And the further outlook is for Saturday. Some showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, isolated afternoon or evening showers elsewhere. And our main stories again. Methamphetamine intercepted at Suva Post Office. 6 government ministers and departments identified to be lagging behind in implementing capital projects. And Prime Minister Lwanga Park dismisses notion of revival of Great Council of Chiefs. Onto our poll question for this week, we are asking, should Githa be stripped of the heavyweight boxing title? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hi, my name's Liviana Valentine. I'm from Nandi and Today FM rocks.
My name is Ateva. I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Krish. I'm from Tava. I like listening to Big Breakfast. Today FM rocks.
I'm Juliana. I'm from Mautaka and I like listening to Today FM.
Hi, my name is Chelly. I live in Arere. Today FM rocks my drug and lollipop.
Bula, my name is So. I'm from Navua. I like listening to Today's FM.
Bula, my name is Asilika from Raki and Today FM rocks with my flip-flops.
Today's hit music on Today FM.